Good morning. Had some audio issues there I had to sort out. Sound coming from part of the room I hadn't expected sound to come from. Sorted it out now. Don't have the echoes that I was having on my end. Hopefully that didn't go through to you. But good. I'm not seeing anyone complain with emojis of covering the ears, so I think that was just on my side. Once again, the mic is... Someone short has been sitting in my chair. It's like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears situation. Something has happened here. Something's not right. Welcome. Happy Friday, first of all. Happy Friday. Long time coming. Wow. Let's fix that there. As you can see, the sunroof has been left open in the court of public opinion here, and the sunlight is streaming in. It's no longer in my eyes, which is a good thing, but it's right here, so it's keeping me warm. A bit frosty outside. It really is. It's frost on the ground. I think for about the next week, we're going to have a little bit of frost each morning. Abby, from all the way across the pond, distance did not stop you. You are able to enter chat first and say yay. 3 letters, not just 2, not just a hi, but yay. And with the yay, I deem you the winner of the internet this morning. Abby is I guess you could say an old pro at owning the internet and has successfully managed keeping everything running many times before. So congratulations, Abby. We will put that in the overnight or the next second post to you for oversea post and get it right over to you. Expect the postie to drop that by any time. Miss Chris, hi. Laura, Pauline, Lori, Suzanne, Katrina, Roxanne, Sam, Terry, good morning from Costa Rica. Sam, good to have you here. Ferry, Broadway Garden, good morning from Florida. Welcome, Broadway Garden. Glad to have you as well. Oh, it helps if you can see your comments as I talk about you. I'll fix that. 7, good morning, Jay Hughes. Ooh, whoa. My chat just updated. I have pages. I thought I had like 10 more to read, but no, I've got like 40. Terry, welcome. Nico, hello. I'll start clicking here. Sorry. I'm missing so many of you. How did everything go at Salvation Army event, Lori? It was amazing. I will tell you, I met some of the most amazing people up there. Both individuals who are getting help and who are serving, because they have available time, as well as the people who work up there and run that organization. They do a good work, and it was so fun. I showed up there with a friend of mine who owns a fencing company in the area, and he heard that there was a need that day, and instead of having his employees go out and work and earn money, he paid all of them to come and serve at the Salvation Army. And they're just an efficient team at what they do. I mean, they systemize their work, and so they looked at that workload and saw what needed to be done, and they did in 3 hours what the Salvation Army thought it would take a full day of crew to do. And they just got everything packed and palletized and ready for Thanksgiving next week. So by the time we got there, midday, most of his crew had gone. He was still there and stuck around for our shift as well. But it was amazing. Our kids got to do a few things and put some of the pistachios and stuff in the boxes, and we got to palletize and take down tables, make a balloon arch for an event they're having, and just it was good to help. Mrs. R.A. was over in the pantry helping sort some of the donations that had come in. It was amazing. I definitely want to go back. It's neat to be a small part of that and just to be around people who do so much good every day. So I loved it. PG Farber, you did lose the internet. Sorry about that, but rules are rules. That's how it is. Abby will take care of us, though, so have no fear. TGIT? Is it still Thursday? Michelle, it's Friday. It better be Friday, right? It's a little chilly there too, Lori. Let's see, 27 degrees here in North. Yeah, yes, 27. It was cold. It's one thing I don't have here in North Carolina is one of those ice scrapers for my windshield. Growing up out west where you could get 8, 10, 12 inches of snow overnight in a good storm, that was like a requirement. I mean, every car had that. You carried it year round in your car. Out here, I have no way to scrape my windshield because the frost is so seldom that I just don't need one. But Abby says, do you have 6 boys and no girls? No, I've got 5 and 1. 1 girl. So a basketball team and a cheerleader. That's what we've got. Laura says, I was going through withdrawals this morning. We're going to have to discuss your hours. Laura, I'm sorry. I tell you, yesterday was absolutely crazy. As Bella puts it here, I woke up to that verdict and DB in the wheelchair. Boom. Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy day. I took half a day off and everything just went nuts. DB is some other judge's headache now. Let's see. Oh man, just got a text from Stephen Lee. I haven't seen your name in chat yet, Stephen Lee. He's making an offer, basically. He's got oh, there he is. There's Stephen Lee. He's got some more graphics for me, but he wants me to negotiate a deal. And he says, basically the deal is I can't be angry, and I have to show you whatever he sends me. Last time we know that he had OnlyFans themed graphic for us for the show, which had some innuendo, but was appropriate for the level of a decency which we require on the show. So I'm on the line, Stephen. I'm not sure how I should decide on this one. Toxic, welcome. Good to have you here, Toxic Orchid. Alexis, what are you all thinking about the University of Idaho incident with the 4 students? I've been watching the case for updates like a hawk. Alexis, I have not followed it in the news, but what I've heard is they still don't have the suspect. Is that where we're at? Because that's crazy. I mean, I've got family from Idaho, and it's yeah. Whoa, don't like that. Good morning from Tennessee, Lindsay. Glad you could join us. Chilly in Arkansas, says Last Poet. 31 degrees and snowing up in upstate New York. You got the white stuff on the ground. That's wonderful. 46 in St. John's, Florida. So it's chilly everywhere. It's 27 in Utah. Glad we match, Katrina. It's not often that Utah and North Carolina share the same temperature. 2 degrees in Nova Scotia, Canada. Okay, now let me ask Suzanne: are we talking Celsius or Fahrenheit? Because there's a slight difference. Let's see. Okay, Michelle, thanks for the clarification. You scared me for a moment. I remember earlier on Monday, I wished everyone a great weekend at the end of the show, and it has been a week like that. Every day has felt like it should be Friday, but was another Monday. Woohoo, no pants Friday. Yeah, I did mention that. No trousers Friday. I think we need to change it just so we don't offend our friends over in the UK. Lori says, I explained that a friend, yes. I saw your text or email that a friend told me about DB being in a wheelchair text to you. Yes, we believe that based on what you've told me and some other sources, that DB was in a wheelchair in Milwaukee because he was acting up, possibly refusing to come in to the courtroom. And the judge said, well, we're not going to put up with that. I'm sure the judge is well aware of... Hang on. Cause, let me finish my thought, Stephen Lee. I'm sure the judge is well aware of DB's antics in Waukesha. And he's probably going to draw a hard line at the beginning and not get pushed around. But the judge said, just put him in the chair, bring him in. And I think that's what it was. So I don't think it was the suicide threat so much as his antics that brought him in the wheelchair strapped to the chair. Alexis says, yep, no arrest, no suspects. This is up in Idaho. They have no idea. And they said there's no threat to the public, but yet they give yet from info they give, it's concerning still. How can there be no threat to the public if you have someone who just killed 4 people and hasn't been found? That I don't understand how those two things can coexist. Are they thinking there's a link between those 4 people that no one else in the public shares? That seems odd to me. Lori, 46 in Okla. Oh, they're saying it was targeted, not far from here. Okay, so targeted to those 4. I wonder what it is. I mean, could it be like a gang-related type thing? Because oftentimes when you hear of gang retaliation, they'll say there's no threat to the public, even though there is some threat. There's just not an immediate threat. My friend is out of jury duty today, so I'm out Christmas shopping. Awesome. How did jury duty go for her? But did she get picked to sit on a trial? 35 in Massachusetts, 32 in Yorktown. Wow, we're gonna have to do a full weather report. It's 10 inches of snow overnight in the Adirondack area in New York. Got a friend from up there, that metal detecting buddy, right up by the border. He's actually at the very top of New York. You could throw a rock and hit Canada, I think. But crazy. It's 22 centigrade here. 34 in North Texas. That's cold, Weather Watch. That's cold in Texas. Chandra says, oh, I looked at this and said 71 here. Toxic Orchid 71 is your name. Sorry about that. I'm like, that's really warm considering everyone else. Yeah. Okay. I think we've done an informal poll is what we've done, and we've decided that it's cold outside. So I think what the appropriate thing to do now is everyone grab your mugs, grab some hot chocolate or the beverage of your choice that you use to warm up with, and snuggle up under a blanket. Let's talk for a little bit. 28 inches of snow in the forecast. Okay, wow. Okay, we're gonna move on from the weather, but yes, I'm getting cold reading your weather reports. That's how cold it is. I was tickled when I saw him strapped down. I will be pleased to not see him any longer. Yeah, Sean, the courtroom up there, the judge is different. I mean, in Wisconsin, the judges, have a lot of say over how or if the trial is broadcast or shared over video. And the courtroom he's in, the judge is like, okay, you can film, but you have to be behind this plexiglass wall, which helps block the sound from the cameras and the shuffling around and things like that. So you have a really bad view and an audio feed. So we're not sure exactly if that's going to be the same for his trial date, as the judge no doubt is probably going to get a lot of requests from media companies for access to that. He may allow additional, or he might just say that's what you get. Buffalo will need a metal detector just to find their cars. They're used to that, though. Man, they do get a lot of snow. Alexis says, definitely not gang and drug related. I personally feel it was a stalking related incident. The girls were very pretty and from what I've seen, well liked and popular. Oh, man. I'm not liking that. I did see, who was it? Was it Roxanne? Somebody sent me information about a case here involving a North Carolina businesswoman that was killed on a trip down to Mexico, or passed away on a trip down to Mexico. And originally somebody had said it was like alcohol poisoning type thing. Only her spine was like completely messed up, and so was her head. It's like that definitely was not just I drank too much and died type situation. So there's a lot of information there. We're still digging into that one. That'll be a while, and I don't think they have any arrests in that either. But because she went down with a group of friends and was found dead in the place they'd rented. But the friends all came back and she did not. Electric blanket is plugged in. That's one solution. Welcome, Tom. Good to have you here. Okay, let me tell you what we're going to do a little bit today. I just want to make sure I've answered everybody that we've got here. I'm scrolling. I'm almost caught up. I'm reading super fast while I talk. Golden Mom, great question. What has taken the Pike County case so long? Do you know? Well, I know right now they're arguing about evidence, about, an exhibit. They're arguing about an exhibit. For some reason, in that trial, the judge is allowing, or maybe it's a state thing. I haven't watched a lot from that area, but submitting evidence seems to be a much harder process, or a much more detailed process than we saw, say, like in the Matthew Terry case, where the prosecution had a clip full of pictures and said, we're going to call these exhibits 60 through 78 and move to admit them. I mean, they flip through them, say, yep, these are all the pictures, and they admit them. In this Pike County case, every single picture is fought over, and foundation is laid, and it's a drama over every single item, and it's just stretching on and on and on. And I don't know, it's getting incredibly painful to watch, especially because the audio and video coverage is not up to my liking as well. So I'm having a hard time follow that, but it's just a slow process, and there's a lot of argument going on. Maybe somebody else can give us a little more insight into that if they have been following closer than I have. TW says the plastic windows were installed in Milwaukee after the Jeffrey Dahmer case. Relatives of the victims went off. So it was not for the cameraman; it's for the victims who were yelling. Shauna says, I wondered if DB was gagged under his mask. For once, he didn't speak. Shauna, no, I don't believe he was. At the end of the appearance, right before he got wheeled out, one of his attorneys leans over and is talking to him. And you can see the mask moving underneath, and the attorney's not talking. And so I believe there was conversation that went back and forth each way, as well as I didn't see anything other than the ear straps around his face. So I do not believe he was gagged at all. He was just quiet. So that's different. Ed says, Recovery Addict, what do you think about the Terry penalty phase decision? Do you think some of the jurors just don't believe in the death penalty? Well, we could tell from the decision they brought back that they didn't think that the crime was especially heinous and cruel, and because they found that hadn't been proved. And now I'm going to ask you guys for a bit of information, because this all happened crazy fast while I was out, doing other stuff. But there was a bit of information just prior to that the prosecution had tried to had got permission from the judge and agreement from the defense to bring in. It was a bit of information, a testimony they would elicit from a single witness that basically talked about how severe the crime was, I think it was, or maybe it was the statute or something like that from the previous case. They had agreement to do that right as they were questioning the witness to bring that evidence in, which would go to how serious this was, and then because of that, it would play a part in her understanding, the victim's understanding of what happened before and what was coming when he was chasing her. So this all goes to that EHAC issue. I'm getting lost in my thought here, but they never got that information in. And then we saw the prosecution say, Judge, can we back up? I know we've turned it over to the defense and they're giving their mitigation testimony, but can we back up and get this little bit in, because we forgot to ask the question. And the judge wouldn't allow it. So they didn't get that little bit in. So maybe that little bit would have been enough for the jurors to say, okay, maybe that was, extremely heinous. So that could have been an issue. So that's something I've been thinking about in the penalty phase, but it's possible that the jury just said, it was just a regular murder. It wasn't an extremely heinous murder. And I guess, if you watch enough TV shows, I'm sure you can envision a more heinous murder than what she went through, which was really bad. But maybe they just said, this isn't the worst of the worst. This is bad, but it's not the worst of the worst. And in doing that, that then said he gets life in prison, not the death penalty. So I don't know. We won't really know if the jurors don't believe in the death penalty unless they speak out and say that. But deliberating for 52 minutes, it was pretty quick. They're pretty efficient. Stephen Lee, my saucy picture will keep you warm. Okay, I'm gonna take a peek. I know I had not promised, and I think you sent it anyway. So what the deal is, I have a doodle for you, but you have to agree to post it and can't be offended. And let me just say, Hobbit is comes to mind. So we're going to share this one, Stephen Lee. It's going to delete the picture of the box fort. I don't think we're going to need that again, at least in the near future. Let's see. Send this one from my phone to my laptop. Okay, give me just a second, Stephen. We'll have this picture shared for the world, because this is something that a lot of us have wondered about. When we hear Stephen describe himself a little bit. Let me get this off the screen. I don't want to have anything cover up this image. So, courtesy of Stephen Lee, I give you. Oops, there I covered up the image when I said I wasn't going to. I give you how Stephen Lee watches Recovery Addicts. Handfuls of pickles. It looks like a VR headset and hairy toes. It does appear to be Friday. No Pants Friday in Stephen's house as well. So that's funny. All right. Thank you. And now you have that image burned in your heads. I apologize to everyone who saw that. And we'll bring that back. So thank you for your picture. Lori says, Stephen, did you mow your hobbit feet down? Yeah, apparently they have. It looks trimmed from the descriptions I heard before, but what is smammy? Is that a sandwich type term? I'm not sure. Okay, let me tell you what we want to do today. I've looked at the Pike County case. I've been watching that, and it is painfully slow and long periods of silence. And I thought that would not be fun to watch today. That should not have been shown on a Friday. You're welcome. Thank you for your awesome show, Stephen Lee. I do appreciate all the humor and the graphic input. Graphical, I should say. That last one was graphic, but the graphical input you provide for the show should not have been shown on a Friday. I apologize. Now you've got that in your head all weekend long. But what we want to do today is actually a little bit different. I was thinking, you guys, if you'll indulge me, might be interested in a police chase edition for a Friday. Now, we don't have a live police chase right now, but there's one that was fairly recent that I really enjoyed watching, and we haven't shared it here yet. So are you guys up for a little police chase? That picture was heinous, and I pushed for the death penalty. True Celtic says, I hope you checked out my mock-up of Awful Law Office of Darrell Brooks Jr. I didn't. I'll have to look for that. Smarmy is used to describe how people act. Nose up in the air, hoity-toity. We got a little bit of that from Brooks. That makes sense. Indifferent. Golden Mom, I was catching up this morning on some of the Knox streams. I didn't watch all of them. A couple of them were very short, so I wasn't going to go that route. I wanted to watch them first before we shared them. But police chases anger me when cops don't attack too quickly to disable quickly. Well, Ollie, I'm have to ask you to find your happy place, because this one doesn't go too fast, but it does have all the. I think it has pretty much all the things we want. We have helicopters running out of fuel or almost running out of fuel. They barely were able to. I spoiled it there. We get the whole chase. We get the whole chase. Let's put it that way. What is most interesting about this chase is I think it's a car commercial. I really do. I think it's a commercial for a specific model of vehicle. So let me go ahead and bring this up here. We'll get this going and we can start talking about it. And I'm struggling to get my camera. There we go. Camera 6. Okay, here we go.
Copy.
So this is out of San Gabriel Valley.
Yeah, sorry about that. We're having IFB issues. Right now you can see heavy traffic down there. Sheriff's Department, they know what they're doing. Trained professionals. They've got their guys on the ground to back off, and hopefully this driver in this BMW will slow down. Start just driving a little bit more with a little bit more safety and just stop doing all this stuff that we're seeing right there, these extremely dangerous moves. Now, he was on the freeway for some point. Looks like we're making our way back onto a freeway right now.
So
almost took out that gore point. And, you know, those are the things.
If someone's going to count, we don't have many red light issues on this one
like that, hit a gore point,
because most of it's on the freeway. But if you want to count like vehicle hits, that might be interesting.
Bring this thing to an end very, very quickly. Now I can tell you we made
yes,
our
we're
way
in California,
on the 605
Sean.
freeway.
This happened approximately a month ago.
605. I got the map up there for you guys, but this vehicle continuing to move along out here, and again, now they're talking about possibly giving this to the California Highway Patrol, but they have to get their guys in position.
The funny thing about this, I'm going to turn his audio down just a tiny bit.
High speeds that you can see right there. Burglary suspects in that vehicle.
So we've got burglary suspects that are driving a Beamer, and there's a comment that the reporter in the helicopter makes as he's watching this, which I just about died laughing. He just squeezes it in there, and it's all in the same tone. You just heard him give his play-by, I should say, and that's not how you play Mario Kart. But he clearly has experienced has some experience with BMW drivers.
Very dangerous. I'm not saying that the danger has just gone away by any means, but when at least we're not
daily police chases in California.
Folks are driving, just
so you can see the speed in the top corner. We've already reached the triple digits. We've already hit that 100 mile an hour mark on this chase. The police have pulled back a little bit, and occasionally he slows down, but anytime he sees law enforcement, it's pedal down.
Seems to be an older, bigger BMW. I don't know if that's a 5 or a 7, but the helicopter, the sheriff's helicopter, definitely overhead. They're keeping an eye on this. They're calling it out.
Lori.
They are giving the heads up to California Highway Patrol. If they're going to relinquish it, that's a different story, because that has to be an official, like, okay, guys, it's yours. The helicopter may stay with it until the sheriff's, until the California Highway Patrol.
He's moving. 95, 96, 97, 98.
Still fleeing, high speeds, northbound 605 in the Azusa area.
And this isn't the top speed yet. He cracks 3 digits, and he's still going to go faster.
That's a huge plus. But as far as law enforcement, nobody's really behind him. And that's one of those things where
we had 2 police chasing my area in the past week, which is weird because we ain't small area, but it's weird. Yeah, two in a week is a lot for any area.
Get your foot out of it. We understand that you are running, but you know what? Let's try to be safe. Let's hope nobody gets hurt. Even on the freeway, we've seen these things go south. We've seen people lose their lives. We definitely don't want to see that.
MB was hit by a cop in a police chase. I am sorry. Wow, that is awful. I'm sorry. Hopefully there was no lasting damage or injury there. Hopefully we're made whole, like financially and physically.
Yep.
This is Prince Harry going home after Meghan shouted to get home now.
You know, Roxy and Tony, this really is what I always see on the freeways. You know, people are driving along. You're going, you know, the California speed limit, 70 miles an hour, and then you look in the mirror, everything's clear, and this guy's coming down at 100 miles an hour. You're not expecting that, and that's where those accidents happen. This driver definitely probably amped up right now, adrenaline, looking in the rearview mirror, trying to figure out maybe where he's, you know, whatever that person is trying to do, and not paying 100%.
Look how close he cuts it on some of these these
just
lane
the driving.
shifts.
I see the blinker going on this every now and then, which is kind of unusual just for a BMW in itself. But right now you can see this vehicle making his way northbound 605. Everybody knows the 605 kind of dead ends into the 210. There's a lot of options out there. He can take the 210. He can make his way out into the Azusa area. Right now, though, still on the 605. These major lane changes, back and forth, kind of gives me the idea that he does not, or the suspect does not know.
Okay, we're coming up to the comment that I think is hilarious.
Law enforcement up
here in the next couple minutes.
Heads are prevailing. They're making plans. They're trying to get ahead of this. But right now, it's just hopefully he does not collide with or injure anybody.
It's a turn signal remark, so listen for this.
Looks like we're doing that transition right now. If I had to guess, I would say that we're doing the transition to the eastbound 210 freeway. Looking up ahead right now, I can tell you that it's pretty much what you see right there. Nothing's really stopped. It isn't bumper to bumper by any means, but this is something unusual right there. California Highway Patrol. Hello, and that's not a coincidence. I can tell you that this officer was waiting for the suspect to make his way onto the freeway.
Watch these speeds.
This is a plus in a way. If the California Highway Patrol engages, which this officer seems to be doing, lights and sirens will at least give some folks the heads up something is happening, and everybody knows you hear the lights and sirens, you move off to the right, or at least you're going to be looking around to see what's going on, and that's going to give a lot of these folks the heads up.
And the lights go off.
But the speeds, take a look at the speeds, guys. Once he saw that law enforcement, now we're up into 115. We're well into the triple digits. So now that BMW really starting to move. Carpool lane wide open, Tony. You can take a look. You were asking about the traffic. I'm going to do a little bit of a wider shot. The sun's coming up. Everybody's driving there. They've got the sun in their eyes. My pilot this morning, Jeff, is also having to deal with that as well. But that's going to give
Jeff.
Give that driver some issues, and of course everybody else down there as well. They got the sunrise coming up. I'm sure the visors are down. People are probably squinting, and this guy driving.
Of course, they're squinting
in the emergency lane at 100.
They're all staring at the sun. I hope I didn't talk over the comment. I think it's coming up here soon. These guys don't watch TV. Getaway percentage is 0.22.
Oh.
I won't spoil it for you, but I will. This guy doesn't get away. That's fast.
No, I was just taking a peek right there. Actually, the radio where I was listening to the Arrow, meaning the sheriff's helicopter. I can't hear them right now, so I was kind of wondering if they actually that one California Highway Patrol unit actually was told to back off, and it appears they may have been. So once again, I won't lose the car. That gives you that idea again that law enforcement is very, very concerned.
I missed it.
About the public safety, and now they have
nobody
behind
I'll go over
this
it.
Vehicle, so that means that there's no
he made a comment which basically you guys probably heard it, but I was talking over it. But he was saying, I'm noticing that occasionally he's using his turn signal, which is strange for BMWs. But this is just a BMW commercial, really. I mean, you look at the way he's driving this, and you look at throughout the rest of this how he's able to continue with damage, and really it just makes you want to go out and buy a BMW because you could take them anywhere, and they just keep going. But right, so many people are at risk, which is why the police are backing off. A lot of times when the police back off, the speed slows down. The car doesn't. They think they got away, so they don't have to drive crazy.
This morning there was a short pursuit, but they lost that vehicle, so this is actually a different one. And that's the thing. Law enforcement, they've got to kind of balance it out. How dangerous is it? How
morning traffic. That's rough. But this guy's
very dangerous. There you go, Tony.
This guy, if his car will fit, look at that. Oh my goodness. If his car will fit in, he's not shy. He'll just take whatever lane he wants to.
That's still a collision. That's still somebody's day ruined, but that's minor compared to what
right. When McDonald's breakfast ends, it ends. You can't order after, 10:30? So I think that's what he's going for.
Residential burglary in the Walnut area, still continuing to drive well faster than the speed limit. At least he's slowing down a little bit. Right now, though, we're still on the 210 freeway. We've got eyes on it. I'm sure the law enforcement is watching as well, and I can tell you that I know They're going to plan something. When this comes to an end, hopefully this vehicle will just stop and the guy will just jump out. Law enforcement will magically appear, and this guy will go into custody.
This is nuts. I have to admit, I watched this initially on
safety is the number
1.5 speed.
Always for law enforcement, and that is.
And if you guys want us to do that, I can do that. It makes it even more intense.
Law enforcement, that is the biggest concern. And you know, in these type of situations, I'm sure somebody somewhere, law enforcement, hopefully watching our picture, seeing this vehicle still driving at 100 miles an hour. A couple of close calls here on the freeway. Thank goodness there hasn't been any contact. Somebody will
no contact yet.
This pursuit,
Z4, that's a nice car.
Will say, you know what, we at least got to get at least a unit behind it just to warn the public. Right now, though, we're still flirting with those triple digits up here, weaving in and out.
We're probably not going to follow trials today. We might follow police chase or if there's a live police chase, we might go live with that, and we might also go live with some Knoxville type magistrate appearances. But the trials that are live today are not very interesting. They're stuck in the weeds right now as far as exhibits and arguments.
Well above mine, I could not make these decisions because when you make that wrong decision, somebody could get hurt, and I just couldn't imagine. Looks like we're getting off the freeway here.
I watched that one. That was really good.
Area. And of course, those high speeds.
Okay, there's a red light.
Got that California Highway Patrol right behind him, and also a motorcycle officer, which is actually great to see. And just doing rapido, getting back onto the freeway. That BMW's rear end got a little swervy right there, and I'm very happy to see California Highway Patrol behind it. And now I'm going to actually take a second and push some buttons here and try to keep up with what law enforcement is talking about while they're chasing this car now westbound on the 210 freeway.
So now he's flipped around, basically. He was driving into the sun. Now he's driving away from the sun. Headed back. Arkansas, man, yeah, they're quick to do those pit maneuvers. You can see why in California why they can't do this. I mean, with this sort of traffic, with all these people around, the odds of another vehicle being hit by the vehicle they do the pit on is just too high. They really need some open space, like Arkansas has, to do that. We're buying a car today, a Subaru. We need all-wheel drive more than speed here. Right. Well, you're not going to be running from the law, Katrina. That's the difference. If you're running from the law, you might switch brands. Although Subarus are pretty good. I almost bought one.
So you got to think, that driver, like you said,
a little bit of a break up here on the video, but does clean up here.
Kind of put myself in that
Bullish. This is a replay from last month. This is out of San Gabriel Valley in California.
Pumping through their body, and again, driving at a
Los Angeles area.
One thing I say is law enforcement got behind it. That California officer, CHP officer, the speeds really did pick up. So this
Pauline, I believe these are burglary suspects. But oh my goodness, that was not a car length that he fit through. An inch too short on one side or the other, and he would have clipped both those cars.
So that's a big V8. That's a powerful vehicle, and right now, all that power is. Really
I love Arkansas chases, Exodus. I'll look for some of those if we have some good ones to share. Here's where he's going to start scraping the paint a little bit.
Pushing his way through the traffic, getting onto that emergency lane. I'm just keep an eye on what he's doing right there, but. Wow, look at these moves. In and out, in and out.
We're all singing it at Ferry. We're all singing this.
And just squeezing through there. Now, that motorcycle officer is going to have that ability to keep up, but that vehicle, he's going to have to kind of move along a little slower. But right now, even in this traffic...
Hey, reviewer, give me the case information if you can on that. I'd like to see if there's a feed. I'd like to look at cases that aren't just slam dunk murder cases as well.
Kind of curious to see if he
That's why I liked the Dean Cummings case.
Where he was, whoa, he did. I think he did. No,
yep.
See, and that's what I'm talking about. These people are just going to work this morning. Surely nobody was injured, but who wants that? And it is just no, I know this sounds very unprofessional, but it's just not cool. And now in this, so the suspects keeping moving on here. Thank goodness nobody was hurt, but there's definitely 2 collisions so far that we've seen, minor collisions. And again, moving on to the pool lane. Maybe, hopefully, they had some damage to one of the wheels.
This guy advanced. He passed the advanced driving school in GTA, which looks like where he got all his skills from, which he's doing okay at. But he has a high performance car, and so far he's been able to continue driving, which is the goal in any police chase. But I think that was his mistake right there. That moment, I think, is where he made his first mistake. When he drove off to the side on the shoulder, if you go back and look at that, he hit something. And every time he goes off on the side, you risk that. Because a lot of times if there's debris on the freeway, the cars just driving tend to kick it up and push it off to the side. And as you drive on the shoulder like he's doing here to get around heavy traffic, the odds of damaging your vehicle or a tire or something like that is higher. It's almost like just an always present spike strip. He picked an extra 500 points. Yeah, he's really racking up a high score here. They're not designed for off-roading, but California's roads are pretty good, and they seem to be a good fit for that. Ollie, I'm with you, and in communities where people are going slowly, I understand. But having been there, having had a high-speed chase pass me, I can tell you, even without the radio on in my car, it wasn't until the police cars were right on top of me that I could hear them. I could see them coming, but it's just, I guess it's Doppler effect or something. It didn't. It doesn't provide that safety net as much as we'd like it to. Just because the road noise and the way cars are built nowadays to be quiet on the inside, to keep that outside noise out, it's hard to alert people up ahead.
Definitely, Tony. Anytime you see these suspects that are desperate to get away, they start getting cornered. That's one of the reasons why law enforcement doesn't box in vehicles like that, is because of that whole, need to flee type of mentality, and anything to make it happen. You're right.
See the roadside signs, the construction signs on the side of the road that he's barely missing?
Gore points, pushing his way through there. We saw two vehicles trying to get over to that far right lane. And also, yeah, sure, he might be getting away from those officers that were right behind him, but he's basically driving himself into areas where more officers are waiting. Can't outrun the radio, and believe me, law enforcement definitely talking to one another, trying to put together a plan to bring this to an end, or at least be there when that vehicle stops. Hopefully it'll stop because of the driver just pulling over.
Let it be summer.
Other reason, but
they always think that they're the exception, right? In the movies, a police chase, the suspects escape a lot of times, because a lot of times they show that from the suspect's point of view. So it plays really well in movies to run from the cops and get away. Reality is a little bit different.
For any reason, this could be that collision that'll bring this to an end. Right now, though, looks like he's making his way over. He's had a lot of opportunities to get off the freeway, and he hasn't. So it just kind of makes me think that this seems to be the plan. Just going to stay here on that freeway as long as I can, and as soon as I say that, looks like, it's still a long emergency lane, making his way back into traffic right there. Again, at least one law enforcement.
So he's slowed down. He's only doing 40, 35.
What's going on? That traffic
this is heavy traffic he's in right now.
Highway Patrol might not be directly behind it right now, but I'm sure they will catch up, or there'll be somebody waiting for him, and they will re-engage.
Roxanne, we're watching a chase out of the Los Angeles area from about a month ago. It's actually an extended commercial for BMW. It's probably some of the best advertising they could get for their cars as far as durability goes. But
who knows?
At the end is not so good unless you include like crash test data. I believe this is an owned BMW. Like, I think he actually owns it. They're saying they're wanted because they're burglary suspects. So, I mean, it's also a possibility that there were that this car is stolen, but that wasn't the initial offense, I think. Thanks, reviewer. Yeah, some of the cases I really want to follow, we're just not able to get audio and video from. And just with my background, having been in the news media as a cameraman, having filmed, all sorts of things, I'm very familiar with the equipment necessary to get a live stream from a court feed. And I'm very tempted to do it myself, even if the case is right, to go there and live stream from there. So it's a lot of money to do that. So that'll be down the road a little bit. It requires multiple cell phone data lines that are unlimited, uncapped, which are difficult to get. You can only buy them. You can't really buy them direct from the
Tony, I was just
providers.
with my pilot,
But it does bonded cellular connections with a camera feed, and I'm looking into that. We might be able to do that, which will open up other cases to us that the other people can't get, or that the big news media isn't getting.
This suspect is right now, and hopefully they can re-engage this pursuit. I'm sure that there are law enforcement somewhere, maybe California Highway Patrol, watching right now, getting the idea.
I just don't know. I just don't know what they're thinking. We know who they are, right? I mean, they're robbery suspects, so they've been identified to at least some degree.
That adrenaline rush coming to an end. Looks like we're on a transition road.
MB, I did see that yesterday. They've arrested him. I haven't heard what the charges were. Are they saying it was intentional? Because I saw the damage to the car afterwards, and it looked like Darrell Brooks' car, the front end. It was so bad.
Talking to the law enforcement, letting him know where this vehicle is. Right now, we're on the transition. Looks like
we'll get there eventually. I've got almost all the equipment I need. I just, a few thousand more, right?
Or maybe these kind of calmer.
Little Miss, I did. I talked over it. The reporter was commenting on how the BMW was occasionally, even though it was weaving in and out of traffic, was using its turn signal, and he was just saying that's just odd for a BMW in general to use their turn. Just sort of a jab at BMW drivers, which is it was probably his own personal feeling. He probably shouldn't have shared as the representative of the news station, but it was funny that way. Mr. Upper Torso, I don't know. I want to hear what his reasoning is. They're saying it was intentional and have arrested him. So is it a hate crime? Is it?
He's moving along. You can see it right there, 70 miles an hour. He basically made his way back over to the fast lane.
Yes.
Much just kind of blending
then
with
yes.
traffic. Maybe a little faster than what's going on down
because
there. Law enforcement, they have.
I don't have to, as long as I'm not the camera in the courtroom, I could do that.
They're just kind of following
there
along.
are ways to do this, and it has to do with media pool cameras and things like that, things that I'm familiar with. But I'd like to get into that because it will give our channel something that most other people don't have.
Start making their moves, but the sheriff's department definitely not letting this one go. We've seen them in the past where they've just said too dangerous, the want or the reason for the chase not worth the risk, and they've just let them go. This case, they have not. They are staying here. They're keeping an eye on it. They are talking and assisting the California Highway Patrol.
I'm going to wait for him to stop talking here.
Multi-agency right now would be a way to say it, but it's basically just law enforcement trying to get a bad guy off the road safely without anybody getting injured. Again, right now, southbound 605, making our way back to basically where we picked this up.
This mic, Mac, is made by Rode, R-O-D-E, and this is the Pod Mic, P-O-D-M-I-C, sorry, Pod Mic. And it works with the Rodecaster Pro, which I'll show you when I have once the chase is over, I'll show you the desk, and it's sort of like a companion to their all-in-one podcasting station. I love it. I love the sound. I love the pop filter. It just works really well for me.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we're making our way back. That's what we can say. We drove away from where we
Yeah,
started.
this guy doesn't
We know
care
that
about
the
anybody
robbery
else.
happened
It's
in
just him,
Walnut.
same as DB.
Technically, I guess we're making our way back to the Walnut
I'm
area.
planning.
So
I've got this this plan in the works, guys. We're gonna have something special here on this channel.
Starting to pick up some of those speeds again, using that right lane, which he seems to be his favorite, and a lot of traffic here southbound 605 this morning, making our way back over to the 60. That BMW is starting to use that emergency lane and really starting to pick up some speed again. So he must know that he's being followed. And again,
Crafty, I've had a great life. Really been blessed. Had a lot of experiences with a lot of really awesome people and some cool memories. I could tell stories for days.
Phone calls, maybe trying to make some sort of plan. But right now, the tinted windows making it very difficult. But Araxia, you brought it up, I think, about other people in that vehicle. You just got to think, if there's more than one person in there, the other person has got to say, "What are you doing?" I don't want to die in a car accident. Let's just pull over or stop and let me out or something. So I'm guessing possibly, more than likely, just one person in that car, hard all the way over to the left lane right there.
Amber, I chose a bad name. What can I say? I chose a name that is associated with addiction recovery because I chose Recovery Addict. And so every time you search for me, you get a bunch of TED Talks about overcoming alcohol or drug addictions. We're working on fixing that. Might tweak the name a tiny bit to be a little bit different, but I do like the name as well. So I'm sort of I'm between a rock and a hard place.
And we see those suspects getting. Jesus, why did you do? Oh, that's why you did that. Had a car stopped in the emergency lane. Somebody was actually using the emergency lane for what it was used for. Did a hard turn right there. Thank goodness nobody got hurt. And again, continuing on, basically really picking up speeds again. 70 miles an hour. You can see how he's just zipping by all these other cars out there. So traffic's probably moving about 30 miles an hour this morning. Southbound 605, making our way back over to the 60. That's where we picked it up.
This is why we can't have nice things.
If he's going to take the 60, he's got to get over. Right now, it looks like he's pretty well established in that left lane and just continuing on at high speeds. Law enforcement in the air, making the calls. California Highway Patrol, they know about it.
Thanks, Bernard. I do want to have something unique here. I know we've got something special already, but I'd like to be able to give you guys something that you can't find anywhere else on the internet, and that's what I'm shooting for. It just takes some time to put it together. Congratulations, Amber. That is awesome.
Look at it. I mean, it's
Keep it up.
That's the bad guy right there. He doesn't have any rules. He doesn't have any kind of parameters that he has to work with. He can just basically, he or she can just do what they want. And law enforcement, they have to follow the rules. And again, we've talked about it. Safety, that's the biggest concern. And they're not going to drive like that, pushing their way through traffic. There was a motorcycle right there. They're not going to push their way through traffic. Looks like we're definitely getting off the, oh no, we're definitely just transitioned onto the 60 freeway, 10. We're on the 10. So
this guy loves the freeway
10 right now, and we're going to be heading westbound on the 10. And again, just making these wild moves, trying to push your way through that traffic. But one of the reasons why law enforcement,
I think there was a little touch there,
is because
a little tag on the corner.
Driving. It's just not safe for them to stay there behind them.
Yes, my name is Scott, upper torso. You got that right.
Put other people's lives at risk. So that guy is running right now. They had a helicopter above it. They are aware of what's going on. They're making their calls. I can tell you there's probably officers all along the route ahead of him.
MB, is this the case of all the individuals that were hit, the cadets?
They're all aware of what's going on, and they all want to be there when this comes to an end to take this guy into custody. Eastbound 10, yes. I'm sorry about that. I kind of glad it was covered by another radio. We're definitely on the eastbound 10 freeway right now, so we are making our – actually, it's the westbound 10. It's definitely the westbound 10. I'm looking out the window. I can see downtown and in the distance.
So the way this works, Christine, this is a great question. When there's a chase that's very dangerous for the people around them, and the police determine that it's more dangerous to continue pursuit than stop, they don't just all leave him alone and say, "Oh, forget about him. He got away." They go into a different mode where they start spreading out and using predictive patterns of where he's going and start stationing people where they need to be to try to intervene if they get the opportunity. They're not going to be behind him. They don't want to have him see lights and sirens, on the side of the road or anything else. But they're spreading out. They're trying to guess where he's going to go. They're making plans for where they can intervene. And things like that. So it's rarely that the police just say, let him go," type thing. Occasionally they will get away like that, but generally you'll have like a police helicopter that says, "Well, we're going to keep monitoring. We're going to keep everyone updated." They'll keep providing updates to all the other the patrol cars on the ground. And that's why when something does go wrong, when he does crash into someone or maybe disable the vehicle, that's why the police cars are so quick to get on the scene, because they're just moving around and ready to pounce at that moment. But they're not directly behind him, and they're not keeping up this speed behind him either. It's a bunch of vehicles providing coverage. And there will be some dents at the end of this. Trust me, he's going to dent his vehicle a little bit. Lots of people feel this way about Cali traffic. I mean, everybody wants to be able to drive this fast, but it does not go well when everyone's driving slowly.
Oh, definitely. And a lot of times,
Summer, we'll do a morning live just until this chase is over. We might talk about the cases that we watched this week just a little bit more. And then since we aren't following the Pike case, which is really the only big one that's going right now that has feeds available, we'll probably take the afternoon off unless there's another live police chase or some magistrate appearances that are just too good to let sit over the weekend.
In the smartest way, not just the quickest way. They just, if they can just follow this guy back to a location, they'll do that. They'll actually might even have law enforcement around the corner, so that when they show up, they'll just kind of pull into the driveway, and officers will just magically appear. Right now, though, I'm not privy to any of that. Again, we also know that they can't use any spike strips because of all the other vehicles on the road right now, and a pit maneuver definitely out of the question unless
no pits, no spikes.
And again,
the costs are high, but they're much higher. Look at this. Someone's like, "Oh yeah, you want to race?"
And there is a little bit more spacing
it's like,
out here.
You're not going to pass me. Yeah. Anyway, tomorrow is a fun day, Lori. You're absolutely right. The chases, though, they're not super expensive. Although I believe the costs involved, like helicopter costs and things, might be charged to the customer or to the suspect if caught. But the real expense comes when he starts damaging other vehicles. Just sideswiping, a row of cars can add tens and tens of thousands of dollars to a lot of people. Ashley, this is a burglary suspect in a BMW, and he's showing us why BMWs are so good for car chases. We are going to have weekend recovery show. That's going to be tomorrow. I'll put up a placeholder. I seem to like that 11 o'clock time slot, if that works for you guys, on Saturday. It lets you guys sleep in a little bit more, especially those that are over on the West Coast, get a little bit more rest. But we'll have a lot of information for Saturday, some good stuff. Talk about you guys mostly. So burglary suspect in the car. I believe it's a single person in this vehicle, driving a BMW. He's reached really high speeds on the freeway. It's morning traffic there in Los Angeles, so it's just not safe for the police to stay right on his tail. They can't do pit maneuvers. They can't do any spike strips. But the police helicopter is following. The news helicopter is following, and this guy just doesn't slow down, and eventually it's going to catch up to him.
And it does look like he's starting to blend into traffic. Possibly the 710 might be his choice.
Ollie, that's an interesting idea. I don't like the idea that the government can step in and shut down my car type thing, but the more we have these chases, and especially where people get hurt or killed, that it brings that disabling ability in the discussion. Is that something that we as a society say yes we'd be okay with?
Probably another 20 minutes. Give us a call in about 20. Yes. Coming.
Weather Watch taking the day off golfing tomorrow, so he'll be able to join us.
There goes his tire.
The tire that went was the front right-hand tire.
I bet you that happened when he cut that one person off. I'm going to see if I can get Jeff to get over to the other side of the vehicle so we can get a peek of that. But he definitely lost a tire right there on the passenger rear. It looked like. So if he starts really starting to slow down,
you got to be quick to win the internet. Abby is on it.
He might start losing a lot of maneuverability. If that tire is totally gone, we're going to try.
We'll see you, Summer. Thanks for being here. Enjoy work.
Like
we'll catch you maybe on another one.
I bet you that happened when he clipped that one car. Probably was just enough to get that tire to start going. Right now, though, I got to get my pilot's attention and see if we can get onto the passenger side of the vehicle.
Ollie, that is funny. The idea that how a police chase ends by shooting a potato up the tailpipe. That would be hilarious. I can, of my own experience, tell you that a potato jammed up a tailpipe will stop a car from running. Don't ask me how. I know that. MB says, unfortunately, I have to watch Saturday show on Sunday or Monday. We'll be out of town at my grandfather's funeral. I'm sorry, MB. I apologize. I hope, big hugs, virtual hugs to everybody. That's tough.
They're definitely going to I got
the
word.
Hope your whole family just feels support.
That they are definitely going to re-engage the pursuit. And it does look like he lost the front wheel, and that just.
Okay, so check out this tire. As this goes here.
Because now he's going to have the problem of braking. He's going to have the problem of maneuverability.
Right now he's on the rim, basically. He lost the tire.
Yeah, that motorcycle officer definitely can be there.
But something goes wrong. I'm not sure if he hits a bump or if he goes, off-roading just a little bit. But that front right-hand tire becomes detached. Not the tire, but the rim, like the whole wheel.
Underneath a lot of
potato stopped my school bus once. Did the students have anything to do with that?
There he is, right there, the older BMW.
Speed limit is 70 miles an hour for most of these freeway roads.
It definitely looked like
70, 80. We've heard 70 from the helicopter pilot for some of the other sections, but the traffic is probably too heavy to reach those speeds safely right now.
50 miles an hour. And making his way onto the 710, I believe. Maybe to get a little bit wider. And at least he's staying on the freeway, so he doesn't have to do too much maneuvering.
Mr. Upper Torso, this is the reason why we're watching this BMW chase. Because apparently BMWs only need 3 wheels. And you're going to see just some incredible driving with just 3 wheels.
Running on that rim right now, and at 70 miles an hour down the 710.
There are some tires out there that are spike strip proof, but I don't think they're the high performance tires that you need in a high speed chase.
You'd think, but those rims are probably pretty solid. Even though that's going to be some sort of aluminum rim right there. Right now, as long as he's not hitting any bumps or hitting the brakes really hard,
he's going to hit a bump.
That rim will roll for quite a while. But you are right. It's definitely going to start giving that vehicle problems. He's definitely a little bit lower in the front. If he goes over a big bump, he might actually lose part of his some other parts under the vehicle that'll bring this to a stop.
It gets better, Upper Torso. It really does.
Running on 3 tires, that rim. Is definitely
I think the back tire holds out the whole time on this one. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody who's really good with cars, as we've learned from the Darrell Brooks case, can tell me the model of BMW this is, I believe this is a rear-wheel drive vehicle, which is important if you've lost a front tire. That means all the power to the road is still being applied by the 2 back wheels.
We'll see him here just in a moment. There he is.
Run flats usually go for another 60 or 70 miles before fully flat. Never go over 50 with the run flat puncture. Right, they shred at high speeds.
He has 2 officers behind him and also now a cruiser as well.
Yeah, we'll see some sparks for sure and chunks. Watch for the chunks.
And just running on that rim. Hopefully that's going to bring this thing to
I don't see any part of the wheel or the tire left. It's like entirely rim.
That rim is going to hold for quite some time. Again,
so a BMW 7 Series, correct, is that a rear-wheel drive, right? It's all-wheel drive. Okay, that's even better.
Bit thicker out here, but it's not what we saw earlier on. And again, with that wheel, with that tire missing, it's going to be really difficult for him to make those maneuvers that we saw earlier on.
Still,
right now, though, California Highway Patrol, you've got that cruiser right
yeah,
there.
The perspective helps, but still, big
closer,
virtual
but
hugs.
He can't really do much. The only thing he can do is that command presence. Kind of just let him know, hey, I'm right behind you. You can see me. And just bring this to an end before somebody gets hurt. I'm not sure. It's definitely a transition, and it's definitely going to be really, really
That's what we need. We could prevent all these high-speed chases by just not repairing our roads.
Get you some freeways here in just a moment. 5.
GW, that's what I came up with as well. I mean, super slow right now, 24, 25 miles an hour. This is like, that's a safe speed to go through a school zone almost. But he'll pick up speed again, even with just these 3 wheels. The common sense, Joe Allen, common sense. Usually when you get a flat, you don't wait for it to fall off the rim to pull over. Usually that causes more damage. And it becomes more expensive to fix. But, yeah. Okay, I think the sparks we're going to see are from like the axle or the either the brakes or something like that. You saw that bump there? You saw the little up and down. That's going to start taking its toll on that rim.
Yeah.
It's going to really start changing how that wheel looks from the outside perspective.
It definitely looks like I was really pushing in there. It
is a 3-wheeler that just happens to have a spare, right?
Unusual, but we've seen very unusual things here. It looks like he's in the front there by himself, nobody in the passenger seat, but continuing to just drive along out here, those high speeds and maneuverability.
At about this point, now he knows that his car is pretty damaged. He sort of makes a change in how he drives, and it takes a few more risks. So we're going to start seeing a little more damage on the car, maybe a little more contact with other vehicles.
That is going to bring this thing to an end, hopefully.
It's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt, so my fingers are crossed, but I can't look away. Don't think it's a stolen car. We don't have that. Has not been announced by the police in this one. I think they're just a burglary suspect, so it might be his own car, which is, I'm glad to see it getting ruined, but I don't think it's stolen.
BMW, morning traffic, all these eyes on you. My guess is
I'm accepting all these awesome hugs from around the world and genuinely thanking Recovery Addict for this group. You people are my favorite. MB, thank you for being here. Thanks for what you contribute to make this an amazing place. Pit maneuver.
No.
The suspect did a pit maneuver.
Yeah, and
how often do you see that?
And he just kept on going. These BMWs, I don't want to sound like that guy, but these BMWs are very, very solid. It is a big, solid car. It weighs a lot, has a big engine in it, a lot of power, and you just saw it just push that, it looked like an Acura, just kind of out of the way. He basically got in front of it. The suspect did basically a pit maneuver on that person.
It's not a cheap car.
In the wrong place at the wrong time. But now just keeping going. He is picking up a little bit of speed out here. I'm kind of wondering if the California Highway Patrol he is still right there behind him. I'm sure they probably have another unit that's going to be assisting that vehicle that just basically got pitted out there. But this suspect continuing on out here, a little bit higher speeds. Again, I just can't say it enough. I just want to see this thing come to an end, just to a stop. And that suspect, though, I hate to say it, it really seems senseless. You're not going to get away. It's going to come to an end. Why are you causing all these problems? Why are you putting so many people's lives at risk? So far, we've just had some damage, but still, that person just driving to work today or maybe taking their kids to school, and now they have this to deal with.
Yeah, this car is probably going to be totaled after this one. Good morning, Debbie. Glad you're here. But this driver, this suspect, is maneuvering through this traffic, which is heavy traffic, and his level of risk acceptance is so much higher than the police officers. You can see maneuvers like that. The police can't follow Had they had that same gap, the police cannot follow like that. They can't put other people at risk the way he can. And so he really is successful. Anytime a police officer comes close to him, even in this slower traffic, he's successful in evading them and getting out ahead.
There's a passenger? Okay.
I don't remember there being a passenger, but he might be right.
Copy.
Successful graduate from the Darrell Brooks School of Driving. Right. This is the wrong time for a police chase, but arguably it's serving him. It's working out. The fact that there is other traffic on the road is preventing the police officers from getting close to him because he's so willing to squeeze his car between lanes, lane split down the center like this.
Maybe they have the idea that this is the safest route for them right now, with the vehicle being damaged. I don't understand the mentality of I'm going to get away. You're not. If he has a destination in mind, where is he going? We've been driving for quite some time. We're getting some information now, unconfirmed. Is a passenger in the front seat?
Possible passenger, unconfirmed. The video comes back here. They're just having some signals issues.
That front window again. Is now we're hearing that there's 2 people in that vehicle, and when this comes to something else just came out of the car. I wonder if they just threw something out. They're throwing things out of the vehicle right there. It looks like paperwork and things like that. So I'm going to see if we can get Skyfox back.
Why would you throw paperwork?
So we can see that passenger side. Definitely makes me believe.
Is this like a white-collar crime, burglary?
Vehicle, seeing as stuff is coming out of the car. Now, if that was evidence possibly of the crime, that was, again, is one of those things. They'll just pick it up. Everybody's seeing this right now. There's plenty of video evidence that it's coming out of the car. So
the only thing that could make this BMW ad better is they'd include how great the gas mileage was during this chase. Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Just kind of pushing his way through this.
And we know that front passenger side tire is gone, right? He's been driving on a rim. But every time he goes off to the side, every time he hits a bump, every time he has to abruptly brake, you can see he's kicking up debris, dust and stuff. He's going over drains on the side where water drains off the freeway during a rainstorm. So every time that happens, that rim, like that one he just went over, that rim gets a little more damage. And here soon it gets damaged, beyond what it can take, and you start seeing it become detached. Have a great day, Bella. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your half day at work. Happy Friday.
Continuing moving along here. 60 miles an hour, lesser traffic, just going about. Probably
He's a lawyer, threw the charges out. Watergate papers, possibly. This is a tint. You guys, spot on. Cannot see the driver because of the tint. I don't know if it was incriminating or if it was just as a distraction. Maybe he thinks if I can throw something off, they might all be blank papers. If I can throw something, the police have to stop and think, oh, we need to get that because that's evidence. Maybe it's like a red herring type like that, but we'll see. Debbie, I don't think DB's in court today. He was in court yesterday. It's possible he might have a second charge today. I know there were 2 different dates that he had to show up. He might be again today. We'll see. That would be interesting. If he is, we might try to take that.
Or possibly trying to get rid of some of the evidence that during that burglary, but still taking these very dangerous maneuvers. I hope that the driver's plan is.
Now look at his the bumper on the back driver's side. You see that? It looks like it's just starting to come loose right behind the rear tire.
Coming off there, so maybe the car is starting to come apart. If that's happening, that's good.
But still, 3 wheels. Okay, 3 wheels. And it's still 60 plus miles an hour on the freeway.
Out there on the roadway, they don't know what's going on, but the driver is really starting to get aggressive.
There are many cops behind. I'm sure they're gathered up the papers by now. They stole 4 reams of paper from Office Max, and now they're hoping to have the charges reduced after 2 reams are now littering California highways. Right? They're going to get the littering charge added on, just insult to injury after he gets arrested, which will happen. Pauline, I did see it to the end, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. It was late last night when I was watching this. Littering charges are dumb. Hey, I'm a big believer in not littering. Okay, see, look at this. You got chunks coming off.
Pieces are coming apart. He's starting to get a little wobbly. He needs to slow this thing down before this becomes something other than what we're seeing right now. Definitely that wheel's starting to come apart. Eventually, as soon as you start hitting those brakes, you know that rim is going to start coming apart. Once a piece comes off, there it goes.
Boom.
There it goes. There it goes.
The wheel just completely.
So he's going to lose his front wheel.
It's 90 degrees.
Still trying to push this car. Still trying to push it.
So now we get a little bit of sparks from all the different parts and connectors, and you've probably got the shocks and everything else dragging on the ground.
Been wrapped around there, and he is still driving at freeway speeds, just pushing that car. He's going to push this thing until the car stops. Hopefully.
Not only is he driving at freeway speeds, but he's maintaining lane position. He's not. I mean, you can tell it's bumping up and down, and he's having to correct a little bit. But I'm guessing inside the car that the check engine light's probably turned on at this point. That maybe the air pressure sensor has gone off on one of the tires. He's got a little tire pressure alert. But here he goes.
This is not what we wanted to see this morning, and
yeah, just look at these chunks. Now this 74 miles an hour. Okay, you got bits of this rim and everything else shooting off the back of this tire, bouncing around through traffic. It's like being behind a gravel truck that's slowly losing its load. You can imagine how many windshields and paint, hoods and things like that are just getting chipped and dinged from all this damage.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you like to be the guy in the slow lane who looks over as a car is passing you, and this is what you see on their tire? Just like, I mean, he's going 78, 79, which is a speeding, but it's like it's normal.
Yeah.
This is like freeway driving. But you look over and you're like, dude, do you know, look down, look down.
And he's just grinding it down. Hopefully it'll start getting to the point where
we can hear it.
Very important, like an oil pan. Start losing that oil, that engine will come to a stop, or possibly.
I was in a not so exciting car adventure. Cars breaking down in the middle of the highway, had a truck crash in front of us. I have stories to tell. This chase reminds me of them.
That's it. That front wheel is actually probably hindering that driving, if anything else.
And that bumper, you can really see it starting to come off now on the backside. At this speed, it's the wind is actually pulling that bumper off.
I was actually I was doing the camera there. I was shocked when you said the speed. I looked up and I was like, oh my God, this guy is really going 70 miles an hour. There we go. The rim totally gone now. Completely gone.
No, it's still there. It just flipped under.
He's rolling on 3 wheels. And that actually might have given him a little bit more maneuverability, but it's not going to give him any stopping power, and it's definitely not going to give him any kind of ability to make a sharp turn, as in getting off the.
Yeah, the bumper cuts down on the gas mileage a little bit.
And it's a lot more smoke coming.
Look at that smoke. That was brakes. That was brakes. As he had a car ahead of him, he had to slow down. He locked him up. Got that white smoke.
Off the freeway there. Probably the best bet, but I'm really wondering what is he going to do when he gets to the bottom of the freeway. He's not going to have any kind of...
Mars, this is a robbery suspect who did not want to stop for the police, and it turned into a high-speed chase. He's driving a BMW, and he's doing it with just 3 wheels, and he's doing a pretty good job at it. You can see that the front right-hand side corner of the car, the passenger side, is riding a little bit low because that wheel is gone, and a good portion of the rim is gone. It's snapped off the axle, so to speak, or all the connectors are barely holding on, and so that rim oftentimes is sitting at 90 degrees to the direction the wheel would normally be in this situation. Every time he hits a bump, you can see just a shower of sparks and smoke. But what he's doing right now is just racking up a big repair bill.
That car continues to move along. The freeway seems
Excuse me, that sneeze came out of nowhere. A big repair bill and some time in jail.
Maneuver at high speeds. I've seen the LAPD do it at 50 miles an hour one time on a freeway. They did roll over the vehicle. But
take my money. Shut up and take my money. The BMW is what I need. Clearly.
They can make their way over there and then basically be a little bit more aggressive.
The RV motorhome case, that's another classic. That is classic.
It is definitely on 3 wheels. That one.
I'm trying to only show the chases that are more recent. There are lots of places we can go and watch the old ones, but this one caught my eye. This is from 1 month ago, so it's not too old. Debbie, yes, the driver did a pit maneuver. He had traffic in front of him that was trying to, I guess, move out of the way, and they, you know how you do the little dance as you're trying to go around somebody that you're walking towards in a narrow aisle. They chose poorly, and so he just tapped the back end, flipped the car around a little bit. There was obviously there's some damage to that vehicle, but it was slow enough that it didn't end up slamming into a barrier or anything. Hopefully there were no injuries in the other vehicle.
Just keeps on pushing it. Look at the freeway, though. Look at the freeway. That's not morning traffic for sure. I'm sure they have basically moved some of or did a traffic break. You have some cars out there right now, but California Highway Patrol, they're getting up very, very.
So this is what I'm talking about. As they're trying to reduce the traffic and make this a situation where they can move in and stop the chase, they may be blocking off entrances to the freeway, which slowly reduces the number of people on the freeway, and allows them to catch up and engage the driver. And clearly the pilot in the helicopter is saying this isn't normal to have this few cars on the freeway like this. Yeah, California is not Arkansas by any means. They're not a pit first state, so they're very cautious on their pit maneuvers. Although there have been some police vehicle interactions that went just above and beyond, especially even with shooting a vehicle that was the wrong vehicle. But yeah, it's crazy. Look at the smoke.
A lot of smoke coming out of that car, and a lot of parts still flying out of the front of it. Once that wheel was
bumper's starting to really, stick almost straight out. I'm not sure if he's going to clip another car with that at this point. It's sticking out farther than his side mirror, his wing mirror, for you British folks.
Right there. I'm sure a lot of that stuff is not plastic. I'm sure that is a lot of pieces of metal. That's going to be a lot of that hub. A lot of the steering is going to be down there as well, and it's all just grinding and starting to fall off the car. This is going to basically help bring. Oh, see, this is the reason why I didn't want to get over here, because if we
Wayne, I love that video. I mean, it just in how bizarre it is. But yes, I've seen that.
Still continuing on. This is going to be one of those spots. I mean, we've seen it in the past. He's basically just makes his way through, but okay. All right, staying on the road. Not
now,
on the freeway.
Because of the way gravity works and the way the body roll of the car works around a corner, he was able to maintain that curve, which was still pretty fast considering the fact that he only has 3 tires. Had he been turning left at that same speed, it would have been harder to maintain that because the weight of the car would then be applied to the corner that is missing a tire. So right-hand turns are easier for him to make right now than left-hand turns. So here's the left-hand turn. He started just a little bit. You'll see a lot of sparks when he tries to do a left-hand turn.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, jeez.
Mars says, I drove on the LA freeway once for about 10 minutes. It felt like this. Pure panic. Right.
It's just keeping on going. Right now, we're getting.
I only make right turns. Yep. That is a UPS thing for those that don't know. UPS is a delivery service. United Parcel Service, and the drivers are instructed to only make right-hand turns as much as possible because it's quicker. You have to wait longer to make a left-hand turn, just the way traffic works in the U.S. But
running out of fuel, and I don't want to say that, but it is.
He's like, helicopter is running out of fuel. So look at this rim. He's almost all the way to the lug nuts. It's just worn down that far. And the bumper, look at the bumper.
Being held on by pieces. And, that's a part of it, too. If that comes apart.
Over 70 miles, 80 miles an hour.
On the freeway and a big
on 3 wheels, 80 miles an hour.
That could hurt some people as well. There goes the rear bumper. Yep, there goes the rear bumper.
That was just the wind. The wind just ripped that off. What if BMW watching this is like, no, my heart can't take any more damage. Stop the madman. No, I think they're actually looking at it going like, yep, what other car could do this? What other car could take this amount of damage and just keep going at 90 miles an hour down the freeway?
Yeah, drive it till the wheels fall off. This guy is taking that to the actual literal meaning. Right now, it looks like we're getting back off onto an off-ramp, more parts of the car coming off there. That front wheel, I'm surprised the rim is still there. I thought it had fallen off. It's just basically sideways about halfway, but at least up to the hub right now. Still continuing on, this vehicle just, and every time it hits those bumps, yeah.
Just chunks of aluminum are breaking off.
Yep, he's got his foot in it, and he's got 3 wheels, and he is definitely going to drive this thing till all the wheels fall off. There, oh!
Look at those chunks that are bouncing around.
Yep.
Could be a test drive. You never know.
You just got to kind of wonder what California Highway Patrol. I mean, these guys want to bring this thing to an end.
If that thing rips off at 76 miles an hour, it can kill someone. It will go through a windshield.
It'll just go off the roadway. But when he's out there in traffic and that starts happening like that rim coming off at 80 miles an hour,
drive it till the wheels fall off.
That could be a real problem for anybody that might be nearby.
What song is that?
Continuing on there, some of those big rigs passing them. It looks like,
I
wonder if the car just keeps pulling off to the right. I mean, it just
something every day, right?
All those parts. Yeah, definitely.
So now the police are on the tail. This is like they're not trying to pit him. They're trying to encourage him to. The reporter's like, pit him. Yeah, you want to cheer for the cops here.
Right there, but even at those speeds,
basically what he was trying to do was trying to be a psychological deterrent to have him come back on the freeway. They wanted to push him off on an exit where it's harder to keep going.
They are thinking about the safety of that lunatic behind the wheel, and right now it's swerving around. Yep. That is true, especially with now we're back in traffic, but it looks like, let's see if he's going to try to use that off ramp, but it's definitely in the emergency lane. I'm wondering if he slides off the roadway, that might disable.
I will say we're all convinced at this point. It is almost over, Wellness Sarah. It's almost over. But we're all sold. All of us will be driving BMWs after we replace our current vehicles.
To see if we have an off ramp. Yeah, see if he uses that off ramp once again. I don't know.
That bumper has to come off because now my OCD is just getting to me. It's just like, just take it off the rest of the way. It's like a hangnail, right?
We have another
just tear it off at this point.
10 as long as we stay around Long Beach.
So what he was saying there was to the station, saying we have another solid 10 minutes of fuel as long as we stay in the Long Beach area, as long as we stay close to our destination where we have to go refuel.
This is, I have to poke a little fun at it every now and then, but it really is very, very dangerous this morning. And there's so many.
Lori's like, nope, keeping my Kia. No BMW for me.
We haven't seen any serious injuries, but this driver continuing to push this car, trying to.
The bumper can't take much more.
He's not
really
going to get away. But right now, if something was in front of him and he had to brake hard, I find it hard to believe that vehicle could stop in a timely manner. And that's really what I'm concerned about. And I'm sure a lot of the law enforcement watching as well are thinking that same thing. 91 freeway, you can see it right there. Speeds 50 miles an hour. The rest of the vehicle is probably going about 30. This one clearly disabled and still getting very, very close to a lot of these other cars. I'm surprised the blinker still works on that BMW. Look at that.
His blinker's been on for 8 miles.
They're right there. They're right there, yeah. Yeah, they're right there. The lights and sirens are definitely going to be helping the situation. You can see the California Highway Patrol, they have the advantage right now. That officer is slowing down every now and then speeding up when needed, when safe. That's probably the better way to say it, when safe. More parts of that rim just flying off and probably hitting a lot of these other vehicles right there. Again, people at home might be like, oh, you got a chip in your paint, big deal. I like my car. I don't want to have any chips in my paint. And, and this guy just kind of just flying through there. More and more parts just keep flying off of the car as he's passing all these vehicles.
50, 60 miles an hour. This is incredible. I mean, not just no wheel, but the rim is gone. 3 wheels only, and this guy continues on.
Something to watch for sure. And California Highway Patrol, I'm sure they're thinking almost the same thing. Maybe they're just hoping that look at all that stuff coming off of it. So Yeah, definitely.
You can see just stuff bouncing down the road.
And I'm sure that's what we're seeing is parts of that rim. I thought that whole rim had come off earlier on, but it was still there. And it looks like here we go. And maybe the car is starting to give up.
There's
the rest of the bumper. There's the rest of the bumper.
It looks like he was just edging over just to get it to pull off.
And it's continuing on. Let's see what the
lane splitting
law
here.
enforcement. You see, law enforcement, they have to follow the rules. They have to be safe. What happened? Oh no, I thought maybe
so
he
close.
hit that bar there on the truck. This would be the time, right?
They're going for a pit and missed.
And you know, those maneuvers, they look so easy and so simple when we watch them, but they're not. These guys are highly trained. They have to do it right at the right moment, and they have to stay safe. But you can
I know
see
one guy who does.
They're aggressively trying. When the opportunity appears, that driver, that CHP officer, definitely going to get a gold star when he gets back to base today, for at least for effort, trying and keeping up with him. If he gets off the freeway, I think that CHP officer is going to be very aggressive and try to do that pit maneuver.
Watch closely. Don't look away. In the next 5 minutes, this comes to an end. And you can tell he's even more desperate than before. He's taking more risks. He's driving faster. He's clipping cars.
I think we were there a while ago. We passed that point. That's the point of no return. This BMW keeps on driving. It's amazing that the other tires are holding on. That front one, don't know how he lost it, but at least he did. And again, California Highway Patrol right on his tail right there.
We're seeing smoke from the exhaust. He hit a cone there.
Issues. Oh, he hit a cone. So that definitely means that there is some construction coming up.
The engine's probably taking a beating as well.
Might be closed out here. If it is, that might create some more problems for that driver. But right now, I'm kind of hoping he just gets off the freeway. The CHP can do that pit maneuver, and everybody can go home happy. Here we go again. He might be able to do that. As long as he's around those other vehicles, they're not going to be able to do it because they don't want that vehicle spinning out into somebody else's car or property. So
that officer is really taking a risk with all these chunks flying off the car.
BMW 7 Series on that emergency.
You're right,
lane.
guys. 7
California
Series.
Highway Patrol right behind him. Look at all that smoke coming out the bottom. He has got to be bottomed out.
Yeah, so that's oil pan issues, I'm thinking.
All that heat being created, there's got to be some oil. I'm surprised something hasn't caught fire as already underneath that car.
Okay, hold your breath here, guys.
He did open up the sunroof, but a lot more smoke coming out of the bottom of the car. Hopefully that thing is going to, maybe he's starting to get smoke inside the car. That could be as well because of something's definitely changing right there. Something is definitely changing. Here we go. Oh. Okay.
Of all the things he could hit.
Is he really going to try to run?
There's a passenger.
What's CHP doing? Okay.
I forgot about this part.
Jesus, guys. 2 people inside. We were asked by law enforcement to keep an eye on the passenger. So we're going to keep an eye on this guy right there the best we can while the California Highway Patrol is if I can keep an eye on both of them, I definitely will. But they usually separate there. Got on the other side of the freeway.
They're already tired.
Jeff, we need to get over to the we're moving Skyfox the best we can. We'll keep an eye on him.
I love that the police are saying, "Hey, we know we've got 2 helicopters up here. We'll keep an eye on the driver. You guys keep an eye on the passenger."
I hope they don't try to carjack anybody. That's kind of what I'm worried about right there. You know, there he goes. That's the driver. I don't know what happened to the other guy. Yeah. He is definitely trying to get somebody, which is, they're both right there. And there we go. Oh, there's law enforcement. Hello.
Lots of law enforcement. Just swarmed in. So that's how it ends. 99.8 or 99.88% of the time, or 99.78% of the time, this is how it ends.
That was a chase.
I didn't track the total miles, but
definitely. I'm just
literally
going a little bit wider. I wanted to see
immediately
where the car was.
The pilot's like, "Hey, we've got to go. We've got to go. We're on fumes."
It here in Skyfox, we needed fuel at 8 o'clock, so we are definitely on our reserves. We got both of them in custody. The dog didn't get to play.
Oh man, that would be the only thing that would have made it better, is maybe a little dog bite.
Seriously hurt.
Now they're going 1 mile an hour, as you can see in the frame, maybe 2, 3 roughly, and they won't be driving for quite a while. But, yep, they're done. Anyway,
yes.
Now we can breathe again. Abby, you still awake? Yep, that was fun. So the pilot's basically, it's like, hey, we can't stick around for the search. We're out.
We gotta go.
They're gonna zoom out here, and
thank you guys.
And they will land with an empty tank at the airport. So. You know, the reporter loves it. He just loves it. This is, and the camera rotates, and you see the bottom of the helicopter. This is the stow position for the camera. It just folds up and rotates. But anyway, that was our car chase for today. This was in L.A. Johnny Law, great question. We got a lot of them out of L.A. Very few good pit maneuver ones though, because they seem to be very hesitant there. I think it was a good pick. This was about a month ago. It was out of where was it? Oh, it just jumped off my screen. It was the LA area though, about a month ago. One heck of a chase it was. Entertaining. I'm glad the object they hit was not another car where someone could get injured. Obviously, anyone they hit is a individual or a company that now has to deal with the damage caused. But slamming into the barrier on the back of a semi-truck was probably the best possible option, other than the divider wall on the freeway. So, I need to cut down on the caffeine for those. Yep. Let the puppy play. He needs a chew toy. Love that. We have Mississippi Raptors and Reptiles. We had the police come and do a community demonstration with canine dogs, and actually in our church, we invited all the neighbors and everybody to come watch. It was a police demonstration. It wasn't a church thing. We just had the facility to enable it, and the individuals in charge of the church were a little worried when they heard that the police were going to be bringing drugs in for them to sniff for. They're like, we don't want drugs in the church type thing, but they did. It was good fun, and the dogs, the various personalities of the dogs, the various ways they alert and things like that, and just how good they are. It was fantastic to watch. Now I have a headache, right? But it was cool. Sorry about the headache. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of paperwork on that one, tracking down all the people who are hurt, who not necessarily hurt, but financially hurt as far as a vehicle damage or something like that. He's going to get all those fees charged, and we'll have to pay restitution. How much time do they get for that stunt? Not enough, Terry. I don't think we'll have to find some convictions and see what the going rate is as far as time served for a police chase, but it's clearly not enough. Anyway, for those of you that missed this week, it's been crazy. We've with DB getting his sentence, with the antics we had in the courtroom there, switching over straight from DB over to Matthew Terry down in Florida, and seeing that and the last minute antics and drama in the courtroom there, and mistrial type level accusations, with him recanting on his testimony to the judge and saying, actually, someone did promise me something for not testifying. Crazy. It's been a crazy week, and it's been a good week. I think the outcome was good in all these scenarios, or at least as good as they could be. It's a misdemeanor for evading police. Yeah, it should. We'll have to change the laws, because just the danger it puts to the general public is just too bad. Glad it's over. Cover the Elizabeth Holmes sentencing. That is coming up, huh? maybe I haven't covered the trial though, and so I just don't have the depth of knowledge on that one. I'll have to head over to the Discord page and read up on that just to see where we're at. Hopefully see a new trial on Monday. Yeah, if not, we'll have some other things to talk about. Tomorrow, for sure, we're going to have our recovery weekend, where it's going to feature you guys for a lot of it. I've got so many pictures. I've got so many sunsets and animals and crafts and things. I just wanted to show you guys what other people in this great community are doing, and it helps us get to know you a little bit and share that information. So please be here for that, for your moment of fame, and to get to know some of the other names that you recognize in chat, and just get to know each other and find we have even more in common than we thought. Christine says, Recovery Addict saw a video last night where they strapped an unruly prisoner in a chair. So I'm thinking DB is in a confinement situation yesterday and was not ill. Christine, I think you're right. That's the information we got as well, is that he was refusing to participate in some way, like refusing to come into court. And the judge says, use the chair. And they strapped him in and brought him in. Holmes is sentencing today. I might look at that. I might. Not sure if we'll live stream it, though. That's why I was late coming in. I missed all morning yesterday and was catching up this morning. Awesome coverage. Thank you, Mars. Is Boone going to be a death penalty? No, it's not. She's charged with second-degree murder, which is maximum life in prison. And I think that goes to just the fact that it's so hard. It is an intent case, really. That's the hardest thing they have to prove. And they really just felt that they could get a conviction on second degree, but it would be a stretch to try for first. So no death penalty on the table for her. And that one's coming up the end of January currently, unless something more bizarre happens. We have a letter. We covered that. Was that this week or last week? The letter she sent to the judge, the second letter. The first one she sent to her lawyer and copied the judge. But she's clearly not happy with the service she's getting from the public defender number 6 that's been assigned to her case. So we'll see. Abby, thanks for posting the link for the mug. I think pretty much everyone who's ordered a mug, almost everyone, they should have already shipped out or will be shipping out very shortly. So thank you. I appreciate all of that. I appreciate those who are sending the PayPal tips for the pickle jar. We did go out and restock on pickles yesterday. Thank you so much. I will be enjoying a sandwich with pickles today, directly because of that. Let's see. He refused to walk in. That's why he was strapped in. That's what we understand. And typical Darrell Brooks. Yes, I need that. I'm not completely convinced you're not robots, says Johnny Law. What are we talking about? We are robots, right? Someone's accused me of being a robot for being able to live stream for 5 hours straight without a comfort break. Was that Ashley? I think Ashley raised that concern. I'm not a bot. I'm just superhuman. What can I say? Was DB before Judge Milwaukee yesterday or today? Yesterday, I know. But I realized when I'm thinking back to when they were talking about scheduling for sentencing with Judge Darrow, DB was saying that he had 2 charges or a couple charges he was facing in Milwaukee, and he was saying, I don't know why they didn't just do them together. So there's a chance he might be before another judge on a separate charge that he's facing. He does have a number of charges still in the works, but he was there yesterday, possibly today as well. No death penalty. Holmes will be sentenced today. I'll take a look at that. If it looks good, we might do a surprise live stream on that one. Okay, DB hearing is February 2nd. That's the one that he appeared yesterday for. They set the date for February 2nd on that case, Grumpy Cat. That's my understanding. That's what I heard as well when we watched that. And thank you to all those who reached out on the recovery hotline just to let me know that was going down so I could watch that in the car while we were going shopping. He was yesterday. The letter is on Discord. Lil Miss, yes, the letter to the judge is on Discord. I'm just not sure if that letter is going to cause the judge to take action or maybe contact the public defender and see if he needs to take action. If he does, if Sarah Boone's lawyer is replaced, I can't see that date, that January 30th date, holding. but that happened. So we'll follow that as well. Lori Vallow has been found mentally competent to stand trial. That's another trial we're going to be looking at. That's a big one coming up. I don't know the dates on that one. I'll have to check Discord for that. I'm not sure if it's even been set yet. But that was recent news this week. Darrell Brooks told the judge he was just exhausted by Judge Darrow, needed a breather in the wheelchair. It was rough, Judge. It was rough. It wasn't me, but I was very suspicious. Okay, Ashley, sorry, I didn't mean to put words in your mouth. But I forgot who thought I was a robot. Terry Graham, he may still ask to represent himself. I believe there's still time for him to do that. That's my take. Let's see. Let me pause this here. Okay, we're getting messages all over. Interesting sort of unrelated crime on the crime topic, but for those of you that are YouTubers or want to be a YouTuber or associated with that, there was some breaking news out of here, my hometown here in Pitt County, North Carolina. Mr. Beast is located or based out of Greenville, North Carolina. He's the number one YouTuber size-wise. He has more subscribers than any other channel in the world. And he just announced this week that he's going to do a public-private partnership with ECU, which is the college here in town, and Eastern Carolina University, where they're going to have classes that you don't have to be members, you don't have to be enrolled in college to take, but it will be focused specifically on training people up to be in the YouTube environment, the content creator environment, as far as camera work and editing and scheduling and all that, all the things, basically positions that he needs, he's trying to hire for, but it's very hard to fill. So for those who are interested in that, you might want to follow that. I think it's about 6 months out. There will be virtual classes, and I'm super interested in what he's doing there, because he's really cracked the code on how YouTube works. Anyway, that was just a little side note from me. Only 10 of the 117 here have clicked like. Do your civic duty and click it, please. It helps the channel. That must have worked, Mississippi Raptors, because I'm showing it's up to 79 right now. So thank you. Appreciate the reminder there. Courtney Cleaney will be soon. She was the OnlyFans girl who's claimed she stabbed her boyfriend in self-defense, but there are inconsistencies. Right. She was actually there was a hearing yesterday, I think, on that one as well. I'm hesitant to follow that one. Just because I think a lot of the information that will be provided in court is going to be a very much of an adult nature, meaning pornography type related, and I don't want that and everything that goes with that. The fellow judge refused to separate them, still being tried together. I thought they had been separated, or at least they were pushing for that. So that'll be interesting. That will be interesting. Have they turned on each other yet? Are they accusing the other person of doing it? I'll have to look at that. On the OnlyFans trial, she did say she threw the knife from 10 feet away, actually. I was watching her pre-trial hearings. Was there just a single stab wound, or were there multiple ones? My third grade grandson said he wants to be a YouTuber when he grows up. Hey, Momsin, it's a good job. If you can do it, it would be wonderful. Especially if there's something he's passionate about, even if it's very unique, I would wait. Obviously, I think he has to be at least 13 to have a YouTube account, and I would monitor that closely because chat can be brutal, especially for youth. You get a troll in there that just wants to cause mayhem, and a lot of times kids don't understand that they're just people who have no heart and no soul and are just spewing hatred because they can. But you definitely don't want them to be, receiving that sort of stuff. But with proper parental guidance, I think it's a great venue to get into for kids who are interested. If eBay starts selling your robots, how big of a kickback do you get? Johnny Law, do you have robots? You have 82. What are we talking about? What robots? Did I miss something? I don't know. I'm curious to know if you're selling robots. Are Are we going DBing tonight? He's become a verb. See, I think YouTubers have a very finite time limit. I mean, Gunsmoke ran 24 seasons, 27, and it too was killed off eventually. Ollie, yeah, I think YouTubers that do the same thing as everyone else will burn out. Will fall away. They'll be a flash in the pan type thing. You've got to have something unique. You've got to be different. You've got to bring something that other people don't have to really have staying power. I like to think that I'm working in that direction, but only time will tell, right? Johnny Law was from that movie with the robot. I don't watch enough movies, Abby, so I didn't get the reference there. Sorry about that. Okay, all right. Tron. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. All right, we have overstayed. I try to keep I'm finding that our live streams when we're not going straight to a court date are all the exact same length, and it's 1 hour and 50 minutes long, and we have that in about 45 seconds. Beth says, I get the odd troll on my streams, but I have very good mods, as do you. Recovery. Hey, I cannot say enough about our mods. They are fantastic. I've had several of you who have been mods, and I've relieved you of your duties, so you can just go back to enjoying the channel. But those that are still putting in the hard work, it's been wonderful. You guys are doing an amazing job. If any of you do want to be released from duty, let me know. Obviously, you're all getting paid the same thing right now, which is just my thanks, and it's heartfelt. But if you'd rather enjoy the channel from a non-mod position, let me know, and I'll relieve you of that duty in a heartbeat. Okay, Nicholas Cruz is going to get a tough guy persona before prison. He's the one. Didn't he attack a guard in prison like a couple months ago? Join late, do a rewatch. Hey, Momsen, it was a great little chase. It was a great police chase we watched today together. It's from about a month ago in LA. Great advertisement for BMW. I'll say that. I want to be paid in cake. Is there a good pastry shop around you that takes remote payments, Abby? We might have to figure that out. I've been a mod before if you ever need a hand. Thanks, Terry. I'll add you to the list. I think we really did fix the problem. I had resisted it a lot, but I really did fix the problem by switching to subscriber-only chat. I wanted it to be open to everybody, but there were so many spam bots that just came in, and we had to switch it. And that fixed it. Apparently, they don't have the patience to wait a few minutes after subscribing to spam my channel. But so we haven't had the need for a lot of mods, and the ones we have are doing an amazing job. Just watched that video. He tried to get his taser. Did they end up using the taser on him? This is Nicholas Cruz in jail. I saw the thumbnail for the video, but I haven't watched it. Oh, no cake for you, unfortunately. Sorry about that, Abby. You are doing a fantastic job. I appreciate Abby is one of the ones who provides links when requested for all the different things that are available here on the channel so far. We are working on some more merch ideas. You guys have asked for them, and I'll see if we can do it. I want to get the cost down. I don't like how expensive things are, but I also don't want to let the quality go down. So I was talking with a business owner that's a friend of mine here in town that actually used to be in the merchandise profession, and he has some contacts where he can source things for about a third the price of what I'm getting them at. So I'm going to look into that and hopefully be able to pass the savings on to you guys, because I don't want it to be an expensive thing for you guys to participate if you do want to get merchandise. I'd like to have it be a good deal, basically, not just like competitive, but a good deal, and everyone be happy with it. That just stems from the time I used to be an Amazon. I still am, but as an Amazon seller, I had 100% feedback rating, and I want to keep that. I want customers to be happy. I don't want them to feel like they spent too much for something. So I'm working on that. It's the shipping. I hear you on that, Joellen, and if I can get the cost down enough and then do free shipping, but obviously, we're sort of global. So I'm working on all the angles to do that, and if I can get that down, I'll do that. Right now, I'll tell you that my profit on the mugs right now is $1.50. That's before taxes. So I'm about as small as I can get without having to pay you to buy them. But if I can change something to make it better, I will. All right, the mods are amazing, as the people in chat. Get a local crafter and a Cricut machine. I've got a couple options. I'll say that. Yeah, I apologize. I will work on that. We'll try to get the costs down, Abby. Thank you very much. You guys are amazing. I'm going to watch. Oh, sorry, I've been off camera this whole time, so you haven't been able to see my face. I'm going to watch some of the sentencing today. If it gets good, we'll do a surprise live stream for that. But thank you for being here. Be here tomorrow. Today we've got Holmes sentencing, Debbie. That's what's happening. I'm happy you found it too, Mars. Thanks for being here. Make the world safer in the meantime. Yep. Give everyone a hug. Everyone you love, tell them you love them. Give them a hug. Smile at somebody you haven't smiled at before. Make the world a little better place. Please stay safe until either our surprise stream this afternoon, which sounds like it might be a thing, or tomorrow for our weekend recovery, where you guys are going to be featured in all the artwork and everything else. In the meantime, if you do want to send something to the burner phone to get that included in tomorrow's live stream, go ahead and send a text to that. Abby, maybe if you can post that link one more time, we'll get that included in and share all that information. It's basically going to be show and tell for you guys. So anyway, I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. I will see you soon. That's all I can say. I'll see you soon. Thanks.